Hello friends, welcome to Kavita's classroom. In our previous module, we talked about the concept of revenue, and revenue is discussed with respect to the two market forms, the perfect market conditions and imperfect market conditions, right? And now the next topic in hand is producers equilibrium. And when we talk about equilibrium, I hope this is no new word for you now that we have done a whole unit on consumers equilibrium, that stage where the person is satisfied the most. So if it is producer's equilibrium, we are talking about that level of output which gives him maximum satisfaction, and he doesn't have any tendency to change his level of output. That level of production is called producer's equilibrium. So to know about the great details of the chapter, let's proceed further. First and foremost thing is, who is a producer? The one who produces goods and services. How does he produce? He produces with the help of factor inputs and non-factor inputs. When he unites these all efforts, what does he do? He makes the goods and he incurs cost in making those goods, right? And then what next? He sells the goods which he has produced, so he gets to have the revenue. Okay, and the previous chapter's understanding tells us that profit is nothing but the difference between the revenue and the cost while producing the goods and selling the goods, right? So, because he is there in the market not for charity but for his profit maximization, so his motive in this work would be to have that level of output where he gets to have the maximum difference between the revenue as well as the cost, so that the profits are maximized. So here in this chapter, we'll try to understand how and where he would get that level where his profits are maximized. For profits in economics, we denote it by the term pi. So pi denotes the profits, right? Profits are equal to total revenue minus total cost. Here comes the tussle between the concept of economics and accountancy, as we did discuss the same in the chapter of costs. That while we are talking about economics, economics says both explicit as well as implicit costs are a part of cost. What is implicit cost? We have already read the cost associated with the resources of the owner. So resources of owners, when are supplied, there is always some implicit cost involved. But accountancy says that only those costs for which we pay, where the payment goes out of the pocket, right? That is the cost. So this is the difference in the concept. But while we are studying this concept for economics, we will simply talk about explicit and implicit together. Okay, so there is a concept of gross and net profit. What do we mean by that? Gross and net profit. Gross profit is total revenue minus total variable cost, and net revenue is total revenue minus total cost. Try and understand. There is some logic behind it, because we always invest and then we begin working on our profession and all, right? Business and all, right? So what happens? Fixed cost has already been incurred, right? So it will take some time to get that fixed cost recovered. So how do we know that whether the business is now going okay or not? So instead of checking the total cost, we try to check whether the variable costs are recovered regularly or not, right? Because fixed cost would be recovered in some time. For example, if I am giving some sort of expenditure is happening daily for the business, so are we at least that expenditure, are we able to cover at least that expenditure daily? Right. So if we are able to cover at least that expenditure which is happening in routine, right, which is not fixed in nature, then it means we are having some sort of gross profit. But net profit is a clear profit, that yes, whatever we have put in the business in terms of expenses, we are able to recover that. So point is, we have two formats of understanding the profits, the gross profit as well as the net profit here in this. Okay. And when we talk about profits, and losses, we have three things to talk about: the abnormal profits, the normal profits, and the abnormal losses, right? Or supernormal, subnormal. It's abnormal profits, which is extra normal profits also, right? And this is subnormal profits. So this word most often comes across and confuses the students that subnormal profits also would be positive in nature, but this is nothing but losses. So beware. Okay. So when we talk about the condition of profits, we have basically two terms, TR and TC, right? If these are equal to each other, it means it's a matter of normal profits. But if total revenues are far more than the total cost, it is abnormal profits. And when it is not so, we are not able to recover the total costs fully. It is some sort of losses. But we in economics do teach that if the business is able to recover the variable cost at some sort of risk of some of its fixed cost in short run, it keeps on going because it does have the chances of revival in the long run, right? So, and you would be amazed that if TR is equal to TC, then what he gets, what he takes back at home. You must understand that when we are talking about TC, we are talking about the cost of all the factors of production. Factors of production are land, labor, capital, and entrepreneur. Land gets to have the rent, then wages, that interest, and then profits. So if costs are fully recovered, it means that bare minimum profit which is required to keep this entrepreneur in this work is also recovered. Right, because he is also one of the factor of production, and if he is getting that bare level of return for his production activity, this would be a part of normal profits. Okay, so if we just try to give the definition or the frame of this, so normal profits are defined as the minimum return that the producer expects from his capital invested in the business. If this minimum return is not available, he'll withdraw. Okay, so normal profits are a part of total cost. So now, the most important question, and the question which is asked from this very chapter most often for 4 marks, is what are the conditions of producer's equilibrium? In other words, they will say what level of production would satisfy the producer the most, or how would you define where the producer should stop working? So this can be asked in any format, but every format would be asking you about the level of production. So many books give you these two as the mandatory condition, and this is optional, this is additional condition given here, but if you are writing these two in your board exams, you would be given full on full marks. What are these conditions? That MC should be equal to MR and MC should be rising afterwards. So MR is equal to MC and MC should be rising after this point, right? So how do we go about it? For example, this is a schedule given to us that these are the level of outputs, and MR is the marginal revenue after the sale of every additional unit is 12 units, right? The marginal cost is given to be this. If you remember, MC used to be U-shape, and U-shape means you begin from a higher value, eventually you start moving down, down, down. After stabilization a bit, this cost starts moving up again. So if you see this trend, 15, 12, 10, 9, 8, 7, till this point it is dipping, and then it starts moving upwards 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 15. So I always recommend my students that don't be fussy about cramming and all, just create your own schedules and curve. It's only the trend which matters. So here, what do we need to keep in mind? We should ideally be showing this point as well as this point in the schedule. What is this line? This is MR. MR is a constant line which is parallel to x-axis, and this is 12 here, right? What is MC? MC begins from 15. So this value is 15, right? And this is 12, and this 12 is with respect to 2 units of output, right? And this 12 is now with respect to 10 units of output. So if you are making the diagram this way, and this is MR and MC, so you will write marginal revenue and cost on the y-axis, and units of output on x-axis, and then you label it, and it's fully done from checking perspective, right? Now, how do we go about it? How do we say what is the level, an ideal level of producer's equilibrium, and why? What are our two conditions? Our first condition is MC should be equal to MR. But this is primary condition, and this is no unique condition. We have this level as well as this level of output giving MC is equal to MR. So how to cut down which is the right condition? And the secondary condition is MC should be rising afterwards. And either you write afterwards or you write after MC is equal to MR. MC is equal to MR. So when MC is equal to MR, after this, is MC rising? MC has started falling here. See this. It means this is overlooked. Right. And now let us check this condition. MC is equal to MR. Yes, 12 is equal to 12. And MC is rising afterwards. Yes, after 12, it has got to 15th level. So this is my right condition. Right. So from this schedule and curve, what is the answer which you should be giving while explaining the same? That at output level of 10 units, the producer reaches its equilibrium, because here he gets the maximum satisfaction as MC is equal to MR and MC is rising afterwards. Right. Now, the point is, when you explain this, right, this is mathematically explained that when MC is not equal to MR, what happens? But we are not required to go in that detail. We simply have to go this way. So this is the diagram. MC is a U-shaped curve. MR is a line parallel to x-axis, right? There are two levels of output where MC is equal to MR, but MC is rising afterwards after this L2 level, right? So this is our explanation. Then comes the question, then comes another question, another point of discussion, that what if why MC should be equal to MR? Then we will take this point and this point. If the person stops at L3 level, what happens? And if the person stops at L4 level, then what happens? Try and understand. We have already read that area under MR curve is TR, total revenue, right? Area under MC curve. So area under MC is TC curve, right? So this area is TC curve. This is TR curve, right? So with this understanding, let's move ahead. Here, in this initial level, see, our costs are more and revenues are less. So this is a clear zone of losses. So the producer is getting losses till this point of operation. Then he starts getting profits. How? Because in this level, right, after Q1 quantity and L1 level of output, his costs are low, but his revenues are higher. So his TR is more and TC is less. So here he starts earning profits. That's why he is at equilibrium at this point. But the question is, what if he stops at L3? So this zone, what does this represent? This dark zone. This represents the level of profits which he would be getting if he continues till L2. Because here, if you see this diagram, this area, whole area is the revenue and area under this is the cost. So the difference between these two becomes the profits. Right. So if he stops at L3 level of production, he would reduce The total profits, because he still has the potential to earn more profits if he continues till L2. Right. And another case, what if he continues till L4 and doesn't stop till L2? Then try and understand, what is this triangle giving you? The whole area under MC is TC. This whole is TC, right? And this area is TR. It means, what is this? This is the loss area. This dark area is representing the losses. So point is, if he doesn't stop at L2 and continues till L4, what would he do? He would eventually decrease his profits by adding to the negative profits or the losses. Hence, his right level of production, which gives him maximum satisfaction and maximum profits, is till L2. I hope this is very much clear, and this is all we have to talk about in this chapter, and we are done with this producer's equilibrium. You are welcome to ask any point of query anytime, right? Till then, see ya. See you in the next video. Study hard. Bye-bye.